But now the boys, the ones who survived, are together again with the Vietnamese, each eager to please the other, almost as if 2 decades of mistrust and killing and lost opportunities had never happened.
I didn't think I'd ever see any Vietnamese people again. I left in 1968.
More than 120,000 Vietnamese fled to America, and only a third have been settled in the community. The rest still languish in all army camps, and those who can't find a sponsor to take them will eventually end up here, in Arkansas, which is about as far away from Vietnam as the other side of the moon. God only knows what the future holds for this confused and frightened old man. He and people like him are all that's left of an American investment of 20 years and 56,000 lives and $140 billion.
Okay, kids, let's go. Follow me. Come on. Let's go. All right, come on.
Big jolly GI, cute crying Vietnamese kids, together again, one having lost a war, the others their country, and perhaps at long last, needing each other. This is the United States. Welcome you, Vietnamese. All those years the Americans told you to fear the communists. Then at the end they told you not to panic, but you did. And so here you are in Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. Sorry about that. Welcome to Fort Chaffee. Built in World War II, closed down in the 50s. A temporary home for most of you people, a permanent home for some of you. But don't be sad. A few of you may get lucky and find a lost daughter, or a wife, or a brother. Maybe the young woman I watched trying to claw her way over the wall of the American embassy in Saigon is here. Maybe the Marines who booted her back into the crowd finally relented and let her over the wall. But don't be too sad. Compassion was never a big selling product in Vietnam. So maybe they'll sell you a different brand here in Arkansas. This is what they call processing. The photographing, the interviewing, the fingerprinting, as the great American melting pot prepares to receive its latest ingredients.
I've been to Vietnam before. I know which way the dead ones go.
He knows where the dead ones go. A brutal remark, perhaps, but an honest memory of a war for which America has only Fort Chaffee to show. Just as the French still have an entirely Vietnamese town near Bordeaux as a melancholy reminder of when they gave up trying to control Vietnam 21 years ago.
You know, this is my first wife's son. She's still in Saigon with my 4 children. And I'm here. It's too bad, isn't it?
This man, whose wife's singing you hear, was a movie star in Saigon. He left because he knew he had to leave. He had made propaganda films for the CIA's infamous Phoenix program, under which 60,000 South Vietnamese officials were murdered for not doing as the CIA told them. Now, like all of them, with his memories, he waits for a sponsor, like a child awaiting adoption. Of course, they all have their past to live with, and waiting in the huts day after day, week after week, month after month, is tedious and destroying. It's a time of terrible anticlimax, of lying on your bunk and reflecting about what might have been had you stayed in Vietnam, and of wondering if a husband, or a mother, or a child left behind in the panic are safe. and what might happen if one day you decide to forsake Fort Chaffee and go back home.
So you were the one who was chosen to go to America?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why didn't you want to stay in Vietnam?
You know, because when I leave, I don't think the visa come to Vietnam. I think when I get United States for, not a long time and I can come back to Vietnam, I don't think I have to leave my country away, I don't think so. I think I can come back to Vietnam soon. See?
Are you very homesick?
Yes, very homesick. I cry every day, every night when I think of my family. So,
Are you here all alone then, or by yourself?
yeah.
Do you have friends here?
No. I would like to go back to Vietnam, but I'm afraid because...
But your family's there.
I know that. But I don't know if I go back to Vietnam, I can see my parents.
You're worried that you might not see them?
Yes, that's right.
What do you think they'll do to you?
I don't know.
My family fed me up. Then I left them behind. I think I have a responsibility to look for them, to look after them, but I left them. I feel guilty.
One of these days, we return home and take a path to improve our country. And I do ask all the young men who have evacuated out of Vietnam should do that way.
Should go home and help?
No, if they have a professional now, they should go home and help.
Maybe one day, if I come back to my country, I can fight again.
Do you really think that you'll fight again?
Yeah, I really think I will fight again one day.
How? How will you fight again?
Maybe
With what army?
if we still mercenaries for us, we still, if somebody can support us for finance and army fund, we can fight again to gain our country.
Aren't you dreaming?
I'm not dreaming. I think it's true.
But the dream is long over. The reality is getting a sponsor, or rather getting the right kind of sponsor. I'd like to have me just a few of them Vietnamese chicks, wrote an ex-Marine sergeant to Fort Chaffee. Just put them in a kit bag and stick them in my war locker. Have to be young and good figure and not bad teeth. Judge them like you would a horse. Perhaps it's the fear of ending up with someone like that Marine sergeant that causes people to change their names and vanish back into the security of the huts on the day they are due to take the oath of allegiance and leave.
Do you fly a kite? Do you fly a kite? Do you fly a kite? Yes. All right. Pie. Pie is good to eat. Pie is good to eat. Do you like pie? Yes. All right. Pie is good to eat.
Pie là một loại bánh ngọt. Pie là một loại bánh ngọt.
All right. Flour. Flour.